Hello guys, this is KTB Vlogs or TBC Production. I'm back here on my other channel, KTB Vlogs, and of course, as you see by the title here, is episode 2 of my thoughts on the Dragon Ball series Remastered. So, as a little brief of what I'm doing here is I want to remaster the old videos I did on my channel and want them to sound better. So that's what I'm trying to do. I checked the last video. And it sound okay. It sounds clear. You can hear me. You kind of hear me talking and stuff. I know, like I said in that video, I had like a high velocity fan, like a metal fan, and it blows the cool air all the way around the whole entire room, and the whole room will be very cool and all that stuff. So, of course, in summertime, of course, yeah. But so I hope you guys can hear me very well, and yeah, so that's what I hope for as we continue making these videos. So, as for this episode today, we're going to be talking about of course, my favorite show will always still remain my favorite show till this day. So by the title, today we'll be talking about Dragon Ball Z. So as you know, in the first episode, as the introduction, of course, I talked about my history, how I got into Dragon Ball, and I talked about the Dragon Ball show itself. As you kind of see in that video, I don't have a lot of memory or history of watching the original Dragon Ball. It's always Dragon Ball Z. So, as I'll give you my history of how I discovered Dragon Ball Z, even though I did talk about it in the introduction. So, it was in 1999, late 1999. Uh, Back then, like, I think it was Kids WB because of, I think it was, back then, like, we were watching, like, cartoons that came on uh, daily or every day or so. Kids WB back then, those good old days. It was, I think it's part of CW21. That's how it was back then in those days. Kids WB channel, and it was because it was Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and the Jackie Chan show. Jackie Chan had a cartoon show, and Bakugan. I think it's Bakugan. So it was during that time. Like they showed anime cartoons and stuff, and all that. But Dragon Ball Z sometimes comes on that channel, sometimes, and they show certain episodes of Dragon Ball Z. They don't show them like the episode one, then get episode two. No, they show like a random episode of Dragon Ball Z. So when I first saw it, it was an Ocean dub. So but I think in 2000 when I saw Dragon Ball Z again, I think it got redubbed. I think because yeah, I think it got redubbed because see, I'll tell you guys how I figured it out myself because I think when the show first was airing throughout one of the channel back in '99 and stuff, because Dragon Ball Z came out Dragon Ball Z aired in America in 1997, same year I was born. And the Sand Saga was from 1997 to 1997. The beginning of the Frieza Saga, some people say, oh, the Namek Saga, and all that stuff. Split. They split up like, oh, this is the Namek Saga, then the Ginyu Saga, Captain Ginyu Saga, then the Frieza Saga. No, because when you play the game, they still call it the Frieza Saga because that's what it's based off of. So so when they because it'll play all the way, it'll go through the Sand Saga, you watch the whole Sand Saga, then it'll go all the way to the Captain Ginyu. No, they defeat Captain Ginyu. So when I watched it, the first thing I ever saw of Dragon Ball Z was Goku versus Vegeta from the Sand Saga. And of course, like how they sound back then, like the old dub, like it sound very old and stuff. Because when you watch the DVDs, digitally remastered, of course they talk, they voices all remastered and stuff. Because the voices that's remastered, the Sand Saga, I think it was Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, Nappa, all of them, all their voices are remastered. So, because when I watched the Frieza Saga as well, when we talk about it in a minute, they voices were old. They old dub voices how they sound back in that time frame. So when I watched it, it was Funimation dub. It was because it was 2000. So that's when I realized that the dub was they sound different. So so as I watched that, I watched the whole fight, the beam struggle, all that stuff. That's how I remember that, and ever since I seen that, I kept watching Dragon Ball Z, and I find out that it was on it. They had Toonami, and Dragon Ball Z came on Toonami, Cartoon Network. Ever since that time frame, I watched Dragon Ball Z all the time. And of course, back in those good times, cartoons were great back in those days, and that's why I kind of miss today. While you got your kids watching stupid crap like Teen Titans Go. I don't know who the hell thinking that crap is amazing. It's so dang dumb. Then you have kids watching stupid shows like Siren Head and all that. There's a lot of dumb shit on YouTube. And I'm sorry I have to say it, but teaches kids to act stupid. And you telling us to be kid friendly? That's not kid friendly if you got a channel talk about monsters attacking kids. It's kid friendly, isn't it? I mean, you see what I'm getting here. Like I said, that's not kid friendly. Like I said, guys, that's why I kind of miss those days when cartoons were great and all that stuff. Today, no. So yeah, that's my little history of how I got into Dragon Ball Z, of course, and ever since then, like that's when I heard they had the toys, the Irwin toys and stuff, the commercials and all that stuff, and going to Dollar General back then. Dollar General sold the figures and toys and stuff. Like the vehicles. The only one thing I always wanted was the time machine back then. In those days, I wanted the Trunks time machine and the flying car. I think it was the flying car. No, the flying Nimbus. Yeah, the flying Nimbus. Man, I wish I had that. But I can look it up on eBay and find it for a good price. But yeah, those good times. Of course, you had Walmart. Of course, what was it? Kmart. Yeah, Kmart. See, a lot of the stores that I remember always had figures and stuff a long time ago. Well, they tried as Walmart tried to do it now because they got the DVDs and they got the Dragon Star figures and Walgreens and GameStop try to sell them and Target's trying to sell them and but like that's how it was. That's how Dragon Ball Z always stayed very close to what I like, and of course the video games, of course, and wish I still had Tekkaichi 3 right now. As some people want me to, you need to go play the Budokai Tekkaichi 4 and 5. They're amazing because they added Blue Hair, Goku, Vegeta. Tekkaichi 3 will remain as the best Dragon Ball Z game. Those games, those little mods and little crap they do, not great. I mean, come on. Don't touch a game that's already perfect. Sad. But, yeah, like, that's how I was. Like, everything all the way up to Dragon Ball GT, I liked. But as of today's standard with Super and Dragon Ball Hero, or crap, what they calling it now, whatever they calling it, it's not great. Alright, so that's my little history here, guys. As I talked about it for a while. As I see, it's 12 minutes in. So let's start talking about Dragon Ball Z and its story. And how I'll be explaining the story is telling the whole story from beginning to end, like the story of the arc and my thoughts on it. Not like I'm gonna talk about every episode what happened. Like, oh, Goku beat Frieza, all that. No, just gonna tell you the story and talk about my history of how I watched it and all that stuff. So let's get started. So, Dragon Ball Z, as the story it picks up right after Dragon Ball 5 years later. As you know, at the end of Dragon Ball, Goku and Chi Chi got married, and of course, in the end, they have a son named Gohan that Goku named after his grandfather. So it was 5 years after the defeat of the tournament with Piccolo. Of course, Piccolo was defeated by Goku. Of course, they fight, destroy the whole arena. There was no stage no more, and all that stuff. Goku and Piccolo fight. So 5 years later, as Goku, basically, enjoying the peace on Earth and all this stuff, and of course, uh, then we see the introduction of his son, Gohan, and of course, as hearing the voice I always remembered of Goku, Stephanie Bomi, will always remain classic to me. Always remain my favorite voice of Gohan. Cannot say Kai did it better because that's bullshit. Will always remain the best. Always. So as you see, then we see how the whole show basically wants to focus on Gohan. Like, as some people were saying, like throughout that time, the beginning of the arc, they want the show to be all about Gohan, focus on him, and Goku. But of course, in Dragon Ball, it focused on Goku throughout the whole entire series. Of course, yeah. So, as seeing Gohan, that's what the show was trying to focus on. A lot of people like, yeah, the whole show was gonna be almost like Gohan, all about Gohan. But as you kind of see, they were still trying to focus on other characters as well. They were not trying like, oh, it's all about Gohan, it's all about Goku. No, they was trying, as Dragon Ball Z was trying to focus on other characters, and always gotta be, oh, it's always gotta be about you. No, you can go focus on someone else. So, so saying I was about to say, a space pod lands on Earth, and this is to get the starting point of a Saiyan named Raditz. Of course, it's revealed that Goku is actually a Saiyan from outer space, an alien from outer space. Of course, it leads the whole point of Goku dying, and basically had the whole story kind of focus point to be focused on Gohan, of course. And And then, of course, as you know, all the other Zeeks, as all the other guys, all the other the the heroes and stuff. Z, I guess we'll call all of them the Z fighters. You know, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Chelsea. We call them the Z fighters. That's what that they kind of gave the name Z. It stands for kind of the team. So as they prepare for the other arrival of the Saiyans, of course, as you know, map of Vegeta, and leads to half of the Z fighters were killed. Then Goku returns to save the day. Leads to the best, my favorite fight of all time from Dragon Ball Z. And as we figured out, as in the end, they won, and now they have to find a way to push their friends back to life. And so the next idea was to start is to go to a planet called Planet Namek, of course, and that's where Stan Saga ends. So, as my thoughts on the first arc of Dragon Ball Z is a very simple arc. It's not very like long and all that stuff. It was pretty good simple arc. Like it focused on Goku's history of his heritage, and it focused on how the Saiyans are. And like they say, "Oh no, those episodes are filler." I'm like, well, it's good evidence of knowing what it's about. Why is it called the Sand Saga? Get it? So, yeah, like, and like they had like episodes with Launch in it and all that stuff, like filler episodes of her and all that stuff. But it did not mess up the story. See, because you kind of see Toriyama wrote pretty much good amount of story with the Sand Saga, but his very longest writing is in this next arc, of course, that we all know. So I give the Sand Saga a 7. It has some people like yeah, it's a C, but it's not really bad. Like it's not. Like I don't hate the arc at all. I mean, my favorite outfit of Vegeta is the Sand Saga, of course, and like some people like thinking I like the Android Saga look, and I like the Sand Saga look. So yeah, Sand Saga is a 7. All right, so we get to this long arc, of course, as well. The Frieza Saga. Basically, as after their friends were killed during the battle against the Saiyans, of course, Vegeta basically lives. Of course, they let him go, and Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan are going to Planet Namek. As they met some uh, warriors that were basically trying to escape from the main villain of this arc, of course, as we all know, Frieza. And they basically are their planet was destroyed by him, and so it was a filler episode of Dragon Ball Z, but that's how I feel like, oh, what, like, who are these people? Because I don't know who they are. So as you know, they as there was a as throughout the whole beginning of the Namek saga, it was kind of weird. They were getting Dragon Balls, and they would have to go find the Dragon Balls and do all of that. But it was so strange. I don't get it. I was confused when they were trying to get the Dragon Balls, and then when they finally get to Planet Namek, they that's what they had to do. And I was thinking, was that like a astral? I don't know. See, it was confusing. Okay, so as they get to Planet Namek, Frieza was already there, and had Sarbon, Doria, and of course Vegeta was coming straight to Planet Namek as well. Basically, the whole thing was like a chase. Of course, we gotta get the Dragon Balls. Gotta get Dragon Balls from them. We gotta try to keep the Dragon Balls from Vegeta. And oh, this guy got the Dragon Ball as well. Oh no! It was kind of like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So of course, you got the Genie Force, um, and all that. Then finally, Goku arrives on Namek. Genie Force was defeated. Then you got as Vegeta kind of explains the story about being a Super Saiyan, and then the fight with Frieza and all that stuff, and basically leads to the best scene of always from Dragon Ball Z. I always will remember that scene. Goku turned into a Super Saiyan, and of course, even though his fight with Frieza was still going on for almost 10 episodes. Uh, but the whole arc was long. It was so long. And so, yeah, that basically ended the Frieza saga. As Frieza was defeated, Goku survives the explosion of Planet Namek, and that's where it ends for the Frieza saga. So, so my overall thoughts on the Frieza saga, yeah, it's long. There was a lot of good fights in Frieza saga. Like, I like Vegeta versus Sarbon fight. It was kind of nice. And of course, Piccolo's fight with Frieza was amazing as well. And I always thought Piccolo would have killed Frieza in his second form every time I watch it. Kind of like it was just like I wish that happened. Or Gohan. Of course, the scene I always love, Gohan attacking Frieza. I mean, but I think they were meant to have that music, Gohan music, like dun, 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 dun. But they were playing the Dragon Ball Z theme when it comes on. The no, the TV theme when it comes on. Dun, 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 dun. But I thought they would have played that thing. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I know I'm singing it. They shouldn't copyright strike me for saying like sing out the sound of it. So that's why I kind of thought they would have played when Gohan attacked Frieza and all that. But yeah, like the whole arc is very long, and it's actually true because Toriyama was still writing the manga during that time, and that's why there was a whole bunch of episodes of the Frieza saga, and I mean, it's long. I mean, long like a like a a book. So that's why I kind of see why the whole arc was so long. It, and though the arc kind of reminded me of a tournament, it's like a survival tournament. Like they fight against some of Frieza's henchmen, then they fight against the Ginyu Force. Then you come to the final battle with Frieza. It's kind of like a tournament. That's what the whole arc kind of reminded me of, and that's what it was like. They were in this tournament and they had to fight. Then in the end, they had to fight this final boss, and that's what it felt like. And it felt like a tournament. That's what the whole arc kind of reminds me of. So, but it always remained the longest arc. Always remain as the longest arc in Dragon Ball Z, and it still is till this day. And so, I give the Frieza saga an 8 out of 10. You know, even though I gave the Sand Saga a 7, Frieza Saga an 8. You know, is it a perfect arc like some people will say? Kind of, but it had a lot of like points. Like, imagine that happened. Imagine this happened. Like, because there were moments in the arc like you'd be like, what if Frieza was killed by Krillin's destructive this? I mean, that would have been it. Or Piccolo blasting Frieza. That would have been it. I mean, Gohan. That whole scene of Gohan blasts Masako. I mean, even the scene in his third form. I'm like, imagine Frieza was defeated by Gohan. That's what every time like there was a moment in the show like imagine that happened. Like even the scene with Vegeta powering up against Frieza, that scene always remained awesome to me. I mean, well, of course, I can't forget about uh, Nail, Nail, and Purunga and Dende. So it would have been cool if they make Nail as a figure, as his figure artist. As right now they are they announced Purunga and Dende. So I hope they make Nail or Frieza in his second form. So yeah, I give the Frieza saga at 8. The next arc is the Garlic Junior saga. Of course, some people will say this is filler; it don't count. And actually, if you buy the DVD, it's part of the season 4 set, the season 4 DVD. So, as the Garlic Junior saga, it picks up as the others, showing peace on Earth. As Goku actually survived the explosion of Planet Namek, and Garlic Jr. returns by affecting everyone on Earth, and of course being his slaves and his minions. So it's up to Go. Now I'm about to say Goku. It's up to Gohan and Krillin and Piccolo to stop this menace, and of course to save the Earth. And of course, as you kind of see, like Piccolo was controlled by Garlic Jr., but he actually wasn't. Then leads to the final showdown of Garlic Jr. fighting Piccolo and Krillin and Gohan. As Gohan destroyed all his minions, of course, during his fight with them, of course, you see they was playing that dun, 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 dun. That's the song they were supposed to have played when he was fighting against Frieza, but they didn't. So, but the whole arc was actually nice to watch. I liked it. Even though like, I kind of imagine Vegeta was there helping. That would have been nice though, but of course those scenes were as they try to say, oh, Vegeta was looking for Goku in space. That's why he wasn't there. But yeah, like it was. As now the arc was kind of nice. As me, as of course, I do remember the first movie. Of course, I always remember the first movie that song because it came on Cartoon Network, and it was kind of a nice thing they added Garlic Jr. as part of the show in Dragon Ball Z because it was kind of nice. As some people were saying, "Oh, they made this because Toriyama was trying to write another arc for the next for the next part of the manga," and that's what that's what nerds will say. But as I always thought, Garlic Jr. was canon anyway, because first movie. So it's like saying is Mewtwo a Pokemon? Yeah, he is a Pokemon. So that's how it kind of feels like some people. He's not really a Pokemon. Some nerds will say, but he actually is. Yeah, will you try to take down some of these 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 nerds and stupid people that make conspiracy theories and all that stuff, and it's just so funny because you know you're right, and you see they try to make up a no, just no, this how it should happen, but you'd be like, no, you're wrong. No, I'm always right. So this arc always remains to me as canon because it is. Why would it be on the DVD if it's not canon? So the Garlic Jr. saga, I give it a 7 as well. Um, some people hate. I think that's one point. They hate it because there was no Goku. That's all it was. They hate it because there was no Goku. Where's Goku? I mean, that's all it was. Just imagine a show without Goku. That's all it was. that's all. That's the whole point why people hate it. Even though that was it's kind of nice. It was kind of like the sequel to the Dead Zone movie. So I like that. It was kind of nice. All right, so Garlic Jr. Saga is 7. All right, so now we can pick up with the Android Saga, of course, as people kind of call it the Trunk Saga and Perfect Cell Saga, the Cell Game Saga. No, I always call it the Android Saga, and that's how I called it. It's how it is in the game. When you play the game, Android Saga. That's all it is. So as we get to the story of as we realize Frieza actually survived the explosion of Planet Namek. Of course, he was founded by his father. Then Frieza's first objective is to run straight to Earth to find Goku and get his revenge. Basically, it's kind of like just like that, and that's how what it kind of should have been for the so-called Resurrection F movie. That's how this was, and Never know. Then meet this new character named Trunks. As you know, like they don't explain Trunks' backstory a lot until as we get into the arc. Of course, he talks about it. Goku tells him about some androids will be destroying a city, and it's up to you guys to save it. As he realized that his future was destroyed by the androids, and at least that's there's another android out there, and this android wants to take has the ability to absorb and take the energy of two other androids and make himself a super ultimate android, and basically wants to destroy the universe and do all of that. So it's up to Goku to save the future, and that's how the story is of the Android Saga. So as my thoughts on this arc, it is my favorite arc of Dragon Ball Z. I always remember this arc every time I watch it on TV, every time I come home from school, because how I did not as when I was young, I never saw the Garlic Jr. saga at all because I think that was '01. I think I was in first grade, second grade, and I think I had bad grades. I had a D and an F. My mom did not let me watch TV until I get my grades up or let me play video games. Because I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. And that was my punishment. I couldn't watch TV, I couldn't play no video games, nothing like that. So I had to uh, boost up my grades and do all that stuff and did all of that. And I never saw the Garlic Jr. saga. But as at least I have a chance, I could watch the Android Saga, and I did watch the Android Saga. That's how I remember the arc so well. So I love this arc. It was my favorite arc. Of course, a lot of great moments in this arc as well. As you can see, especially when Vegeta got his arm broke, and then Trunks' uh, sword, his burning slash move, and let's see, Final Flash, Instant Transmission Kamehameha, Gohan's Kamehameha, his Super Kamehameha, and Father and Son Kamehameha. Oh, Piccolo's Hellzone Grenade and Light Grenade. Oh yeah, Light Grenade. Yeah, Light Grenade. So oh, he said yeah, yeah, Light Grenade, Hellzone Grenade. Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of great moments in this arc I loved, and I love it till this day. And I'm glad I got I rebought the DVD set of the Android Saga. And as right now, I'm actually replacing my old DVDs and replacing it with Blu-ray, so I can, because I have a PlayStation 3 and I can watch it on Blu-ray. But I do plan on getting a PlayStation 4 so I can have that as well. But but yeah, I love this art. Of course, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, all that, amazing. Like I love it. I and kind of some of the ideas actually came off the Cell games. Like they have tournaments and all that stuff, and but I try to put it in my show on Toys Ball Z sometimes. And Toy Instinct kind of gets the inspiration off of that as well. The prologue video, which you guys saw. So, yeah, like I love the Android Saga. It's my favorite arc. Always remains my favorite arc. I give it a 10. I loved it. Like, I thought there could be points in the arc that kind of wish that happened. Like, imagine 17, 18 joining the Z Fighters to fight against Cell. That was kind of my idea they could have done, but they didn't. And what if Goku had defeated Cell? And it's always those what ifs. Like, imagine he fights Cell and defeats him. That's that. I kind of think of those what ifs, but not what if Cell turns good? Sicko X. That's why I don't watch those videos. I mean, they run out of content, guys. Did you kind of realize that if you watch their channels, they're running out of content because they know that superhero movies not that special. It really isn't, and they don't have no other content to make. They got what if Nappa is a what if Nappa was good? So anyway, the as you know, like as yeah, I get the Android Saga a 10 out of 10. Of course, it's kind of sad they retconned that in Super, like Trunks and Nightmare and all that stuff was Super and Super, but as I kind of wish that never happened. I don't believe, like I said, Super never happened to me. No way, it never is. So, Android Saga a 10 out of 10 for me. All right, so we almost done here, guys. We got one more arc, of course, that's coming up. As as after the Android Saga, because Goku is dead after that, and of course there's a tournament in the other world, and he meets a lot of other warriors, and he trains for the next 7 years, and of course it leads into the Majin Buu saga. Of course, as we now see, Gohan is older, he's a teenager, and of course he has a little, as you know, he has a little brother named Goten. And of course, it leads to that he meets this girl named Videl that is the daughter of Mr. Satan. Of course, Mr. Satan first appeared in the Android Saga. So she wants him to join the World Martial Arts tournament that they had because since it has never been a World Martial Arts tournament since Goku and Piccolo fought each other that destroyed the ring and everything. So as that happened, of course, like Goku comes back for one day, 24 hours, one day, to see his family and friends, of course, and then at least here as they try to figure out this strange mystery man that's at the tournament. Of course, we find out it's Supreme Kai that he wants them to help him stop a wizard named Babidi that is trying to revive Majin Buu. So it leads to that, of course, like that if any person fights with strong amount of energy, will give the energy to Majin Buu. So as two henchmen took two people, Spokovich and Yamu took energy from Gohan and went straight to the Wizard Babidi that's on Earth. Of course, as at least that some of the Z fighters got trapped by one of the warriors named Deborah, and now they had to stop Babidi's plans of reviving Majin Buu, and of course that didn't happened, it failed. Then, of course, it leads to Vegeta being controlled. Then, all that and chaos, and of course, and then leads to Vegeta sacrificing himself and all that. And only one chance left is for Goku to try to stop Majin Buu, but he wants the Goten and Trunks to save the day, and then Gohan. But and of course, in the end, Goku saves the day. So, leads to that of the evil Majin Buu is reincarnated and becomes Buu. And that's who we see at the end of Dragon Ball Z. And technically, I wouldn't put Super in the middle of any of this stuff because it did not really happen. Because they will all mention it in this art in this show. So it leads to that to the following series coming up after that. That will be what Dragon Ball GT. So as my thoughts in this arc, of course, Goku and Pycon's fight was actually good. I like that fight. Actually, I did. Um, I like the idea like they wanted them to do a tournament and they didn't get a chance to, and then how ironically is that when they go to Bobby's spaceship, that's what it was kind of like a tournament. And even though in the end, of course, Majin Buu gets revived and everything, of course, Goku and Vegeta's fight remain as a classic fight to watch on Dragon Ball Z. I mean, they even show this in the commercials of the toys when you look at the commercials. So of course, this for that fight will always remain as a classic, and of course, you kind of see that Toriyama's, as you see that some people like Toriyama's writing was not that great. He was writing out of ideas, and like, oh yeah, so I guess he ran out of ideas of making a whole nother show that makes no sense. Yeah, I'm looking at Dragon Ball Super here. So, yeah, like, um, the forms of Boo, like, I like Super Boo. Of course, Ultimate Gohan. Yeah. Vegito, Gotenks. Uh, I like that whole scene that was inside the Majin Buu. I like that. The whole scene. That was my favorite scene when I was watching on TV. Of course, if I have a DVD, and I watch that all the time. Of course, Kid Buu fight always remain a favorite as well. Um, I know like Vegeta, how Vegeta was getting beaten during that fight and all that stuff, like torture. That was torture. But of course, the Spirit Bomb scene always remain as a favorite as well. And of course, I like how they was trying to introduce new characters at the end of the show. Of course, they had Pan. Pan was born during that time, and of course, Vegeta's daughter, Bola. And see, I even though Super tried to throw them into that category of they were born like Pan and Bola and all that, but you need to realize that's what they're trying to do. They try to ignore the fact that another show exists, and that show connects to the show that is here. So, like Dragon Ball Z connects to Dragon Ball GT. It's not separate. But they don't get it. So, as for the Majin Buu saga, I kind of would. I guess that yeah, I can give it a 7. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I enjoy watching it. I mean, I don't hate the art at all. My favorite arc is the Android Saga. So, and yeah, cause I guess cause Super Saiyan 3, I love Super Saiyan 3. But yeah, I guess I give the Majin Buu Saga a 7. I don't hate it. I mean, even though some people do hate it. Oh, as you know, since Dragon Ball Z ended in 2003, of course you have Dragon Ball GT that comes out right after that, and of course in 2010 you have Dragon Ball Z Kai. Oh yeah, it's not right here. Oh yeah, I ain't put the Kai picture there. I'm sorry, but it don't need to be there. So Dragon Ball Z Kai is basically just the try to write the manga like how the manga of the arc of the show that it's supposed to originally been. So, because as at first thought, I thought the show was a brand new show. I thought it's gonna be a whole new show, like because they show a commercial of Goku going to space in a spaceship. He's going to space in a spaceship, and then how they were promoting Dragon Ball Z Kai and all that. Then when I watched the first episode of Dragon Ball Z Kai, it's the Sand Saga. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, I thought this was a brand new show. It's a ripoff of Dragon Ball Z. So like they cut out a lot of stuff like story points that should be in the show and all of that and that's what they do. That's what they did. The voice acting was not great. Of course, some of the original voice actors got removed, replaced with sucky new ones. It was just a bad show. Like I didn't like it. And I know like some people say like, "Hey, how you don't like this show? It's saying it's a great show." I don't like Dragon Ball Z Kai. It's horrible. So that's when I kind of felt disappointed, and I was like, well, they like I said, they should have wrote a brand new show that continued the ending of GT. That's what I kind of thought they could have done, and that's why, like I said, Kai is the worst example of what they done to Dragon Ball, and Super is basically the same problem, and that's what it is. And people are crying for another movie or something that makes no sense. Just so sad. It just makes me sad. And that's what Kai did to me. It just made me disappointed. So yeah, there's not a lot to talk about. It's just a rip off of Dragon Ball Z. That's true. So yeah, guys, like that I guess I covered up everything of the arcs. Like I just talked about the points and the story points and how they could have done it. Like Sand Saga, they tried to explain his backstory, his history, what he is. Frieza Saga is kind of like trying to figure out what caused the Saiyans to be extinct and basically destroyed because the legendary Super Saiyan. So that's what they did in that arc, of course, and Goku fights the person that destroyed the Saiyan race. So that's kind of like it makes sense to connect stories with the following arc, the previous arc. And that's what I like about that. And the Android Saga, I mean, Garlic Jr. Saga is basically the sequel to the Dead Zone movie. So that's all the Garlic Jr. Saga was. But the Android Saga kind of connects back to Dragon Ball. Of course, when Goku was a kid, he destroyed the whole Red Ribbon Army, and basically the Red Ribbon Army wanted revenge against Goku, and that's basically what the idea of the androids. Um, the Majin Buu saga is basically finding out a a kind of a darker enemy that basically been around for many years, and basically is kind of like a god in some ways, yeah. And basically it's the destruction. That leads to destruction and destroy everything in its path. And that's what I kind of felt Majin Buu Saga was. And it's can you realize that like throughout each of the arcs, they Gohan was learning a lot of things. It wasn't just Goku. Of course, Goku is still the main character of the show, but the whole show, Dragon Ball Z, was trying to focus on Gohan's story and wanted Gohan to have a fully like story. And same way with Vegeta. Vegeta was the same way. Like they did the same thing with Piccolo as well. As you saw throughout got the Sand Saga, how Gohan and him were so close, and basically for their whole story of how they are together and how they work together as a team and how they train together and like friendship. And of course, the Vegeta is the same way. It's like you meet this person, you watch how they progress throughout the whole show, and kind of see they did that at the end of Dragon Ball Z. But what ruined that? The Super. Basically, just what's about you, Kakarot? And all that stuff, and ruined it. GT did not do that because Vegeta didn't care. It's that's the Vegeta that we should have, not a what's about you, Kakarot? I mean, Super is trying to be like the Android Saga Vegeta. That's all they were trying to do. It's fitting how they had him wearing the outfit in Dragon Ball Super. But yeah. So my favorite villain always remain to me is I like I like Cell. Cell was always my favorite villain in Dragon Ball Z. Saying, yeah, I like Frieza, but Cell was always my favorite villain. Like I still, I don't hate none of the villains in Dragon Ball Z, of course, no. Even the henchmen like Zarbon, Dodoria, Queen, the Ginyu Force, 17, 18. Well, they're good now, but you know what I mean. Like I don't hate none of them because I like them. Like I like them when they were on the show and everything. So Cell is my favorite villain. Cell is, and favorite transformation will always remain to me as Super Saiyan 3. I always love Super Saiyan 3. Best moments. My favorite moment is when uh, Gohan turned to Super Saiyan 2. And Goku's transformation to a Super Saiyan always remain my favorite of Dragon Ball Z. The Spirit Bomb on Frieza is my favorite. And Instant Transmission Kamehameha and Final Flash and Father and Son Kamehameha. Alright, so yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. I've been talking for a long time. I'm on the limit of the time now, and I'm done with this video. So I hope you guys enjoy. As the next video, we'll be talking about the Dragon Ball Z movies. And that'll be the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of talking about the Dragon Ball series. So like, comment, subscribe, and share. and see you guys next time, and peace.